What's up, nail crew? Let's do a gorgeous fall mani and let's make it a chunky glitter vertical ombre. I chose these beautiful colors. I'm just feeling fall already. I know it's still August in Pennsylvania here and it is hot, but I've been doing bright and light colored manis probably since like January of this year, and I am ready for some gorgeous fall and dark colors. When I'm using dark colors, I like to start off with a layer of liquid latex around my nails, and I use the Pween one off Amazon. They also do have a latex-free version if you're allergic to latex. And the reason I do this is because I am a really messy dipper. I always start off with my solid colors first. I work from solid colors to shimmers, then the glitters last. Anytime I'm doing a vertical ombre, you'll see that on my second dip of color for the nail that I'm gonna ombre on, I don't do the base liquid on the full nail. So on my pointer finger, I'm gonna do the ombre on the left side of my pointer finger, and I only put the dip powder for my second layer on half of the nail. This to me leaves more room for using the chunky glitter, especially if you're doing an ombre with the chunky glitter, then you're not gonna have overly thick nails. So on my ring finger, when I'm doing this gorgeous color called Booby Traps, I'm only doing my second layer on the left side of my nail. That leaves the right side of the nail really nice for when I do the chunky glitter ombre. Now, the two nails that I'm just doing plain solids, my thumb and my pinky, I like to go through, I'll add my layer of clear, and I'll activate those before I go and start ombreing or busting out any kind of glitters. I always like to do this when I'm ombreing or using any kind of glitter. I go through and I top with clear dip powder and then I activate them. This really helps those of us who are messy dippers because then you don't end up getting glitter all over your really nice solid nails, and then you're really frustrated because you did all that work and then it's all messed up because you have glitter stuck in them anyways. So here I'm gonna activate, and now I can bust out this gorgeous glitter from the OG Dip Powder Stranger Things inspired collection called More to Stupid Life Than Boys, which totally true, there is, even though I'm happily married and have sons. Okay, so when I'm dipping a chunky glitter, the very first layer that I do not try to get a ton of the chunky glitters. You don't want to get a ton of the chunky glitters on your first dip because nails will end up looking super thick when you do a second dip. So the second dip is when I really like shake the glitters around. I always pour my glitter into a little cupcake liner, and this way I don't have to try to like shove my hand into the dip powder jar. Then I go through with a toothpick or a wax tool and I pick up more glitters and just dab some dip base on where I want them. That little trick for applying chunky glitters has really worked for me by just placing a couple of the chunky pieces here and there, any that I missed from when I laid my nail flat. If you try to like get at like a ton of chunky glitters right on your first and second dips, your nail will end up looking super thick, and we definitely don't want that. So now I finished my middle old glitter nail, and now I'm gonna do the chunky glitter ombres. So when you're applying the dip base, you apply it over most of your nail, but I leave like the very edge without any kind of liquid on it. This way, if I accidentally put too much on, I know I still have a little bit left on the edge that I won't have any glitter on. So I started trying to tap this chunky glitter on, and I realized I was only picking up the little glitters. So I very carefully like turned my pointer to the side and laid it into the chunky glitter, but only a small amount of it. This way I knew that I wouldn't get too much of the chunky glitter onto my nail so that it wouldn't look like an ombre and it would just look like a full nail of chunky glitter. And I did the same thing on my other finger. The ring finger was a little awkward to put in, but I tapped a little bit on with the e.l.f. eyeshadow brush, or I think it's a Wet n Wild, and then went in with laying my nail just like ever so slightly into the dip powder to pick up some more chunky pieces. And then I did the same thing that I did on my middle finger. I took dip base and applied it into some random spots all over the nail, and then took a toothpick and placed little glitters all over where I felt like it just was more sparse, and added some extra pieces in there. Now, sometimes your toothpick won't pick up as well as like using a wax tool, like a specific pointy wax tool for nail art. But again, like always, I never remember to grab mine out before I'm about to do my nails. So at this point, I had toothpicks laying by. And if your toothpick won't pick up any of the chunky glitter pieces, you just take the toothpick, dip it right onto some of that base that you applied onto your nail, and then pick up the pieces that you have like set on a paper towel or some kind of like nail art pad palette, or you can always use another another cupcake liner. I like to sometimes use a little mini cupcake liner to put a couple big glitter pieces in. This way they're not like flying all over the place when I'm trying to pick them up and then place them onto my nails. Then I take either a baggie like I have here, or I use masking tape and press the glitters down. I just happen to not be able to find my masking tape, and if you know me, you will not be surprised about that. I lose a lot of things. I'm super forgetful, but I eventually found it. Like as I'm doing this voiceover, I actually ended up finding my masking tape that I use for color blocking a couple weeks later. Then I like to cover everything with a layer of my clear dip powder, and my favorite clear is from OG. It's Original Glass, because it is crystal clear. And if you're doing a glitter or really any mani, you don't want to do all this work on your gorgeous colors and then have a cloudy clear. That is like a huge pet peeve for me, that I would do all that work and then have a cloudy clear. I keep separate clears for glitter, one for solids, and then one for shimmers, because I am super messy, like I say all the time when I dip. So I need to make sure that I don't contaminate any of my glitters, because my glitter clear is basically filled with glitter. So once you finish applying the clear dip powder over your glitter nails, and you can kind of press it in to make sure it like gets into all the little nooks and crannies of your nail. Then you want to activate it, and then you wait whatever the time is for the activator. You buff and file and shape up your nails. Then you can go through, wipe them off with some isopropyl alcohol on a lint-free paper towel or a lint-free wipe, and then you can go in and do your top coating. And I am using OG's and then you immediately go in with your first layer of top coat on each nail, going in about 2 to 3 quick strokes. And I like to, well, sometimes when I remember, I wipe up my nails in between applying the top coat between each finger. Then I'll go through, once I see the nails start to like crinkle or crack, they look like this kind of crinkly, like they're just kind of drying. So once you get that crinkle effect, then you know you can go in with the second layer of top coat and apply that in much nicer, like slower strokes. You don't have to move as quickly. And you always want to make sure that you cap your nails, because if you like to wear your manis for more than a few days, capping your edges seals everything in and allows you to get a nice long couple week wear. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe so we can reach as many nail friends as possible and get everyone loving doing their nails at home. Check out this next tutorial on some easy chrome nails that you can do for fall or any time of year. Thanks so much for joining me today, Nail Crew.